Hey guys. Hey, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the scriptures today. And one of the things that I was thinking about was the woman caught in adultery and how the Pharisees brought her to Jesus as a trap. They were trying to trap Jesus, and I wonder if Jesus sensed that, if he knew that they were trying to trap him. Anyways, so they bring the lady in, and they're ready to stone her, and they ask Jesus the question, what should we do? And Jesus stoops down and takes his time, right, and writes in the dirt. And then he says, those of you who have no sin, let them cast the first stone. Of course, everyone has the guilt and is like, no, I'm a sinner too. And one of the things that I was thinking about was, and I know Jesus is perfect, so this may not have been why he stooped down and took his time and wrote in the dirt, but maybe there's a possibility that this could be some other reason. I don't know, and I'm not saying this is the truth, but I know this is what works for me. But when I can sense that something's not right, and if I start getting emotions like frustration or, whatever it is, like I imagine if Jesus could sense that the Pharisees were trying to trap him, maybe the emotion of frustration came inside of him. Maybe he got frustrated. And I know that Jesus felt all sorts of emotions. Isaiah said he was a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. So we know he had all those emotions going inside of him. And part of me wonders, did he sense that they were trying to trap him and he started having some strong emotions? And so he bent down and took his time and felt those emotions. Because one of the things that I was taught is when you have strong emotions, it takes you out of the front part of your brain, the thinking part of your brain, and puts you in the feeling part of your brain. And when you're having strong emotions, you're not able to think logically because it shuts the door to the logical brain when you have high emotions. And so part of me wondered, and one of the things that I've been taught is that when you have high emotions, you need to feel those feelings. You need to get those feelings out, not on other people per se, but really allow those feelings to happen inside of you and feel it and ask yourself, why am I feeling these feelings? And then once you've heard out your feelings, once you've recognized why you're frustrated or whatever feeling it is, then those feelings go away so much more quicker than if we just stuff them down, if we just ignore them. Those feelings go away. I've learned in my own experience, they go away a lot quicker if I just hear them out, if I just learn from them, if I just allow them to be heard and felt, and then asking questions like, why am I feeling this? And once that happens, then I'm back. I'm no longer in that feeling part of my brain. I'm in the front of my brain, the thinking part of my brain, the frontal cortex of my brain. And I can start thinking, and especially if I'm in tune with the Spirit, then the Spirit can come and teach me what I need to say or do. And then I can face the person. So like if I have a high emotion, and then I can say, you know what, I need some time right now. I need to go be by myself. And can we come back in 15 minutes and we can talk? So those are some things that might be helpful to you. But part of me wonders if maybe Jesus was just feeling some emotions, and my kids was feeling some emotions. And so he took his time to feel those emotions until he was ready to give that answer to the Pharisees. And that answer was very inspiring, and he wasn't trapped. So that's kind of part of the things that I wanted to talk about, is just throwing that out there. Just a thought that could it be that Jesus just needed some time to feel those feelings and think about things, and to give the response that he did. And then also to go along with the woman caught in adultery, and I know this might bug people and maybe it's wrong, but I really have a lot of compassion for this man that I'm going to talk about. And I feel like it's kind of the same in some ways, a similar situation as this woman caught in adultery. So the person I have been thinking about this year that I feel is very similar to the woman caught in adultery is Judas Iscariot. Now, I know his sin was one of the most terrible things that a person did in history, which was to betray God, betray Jesus. And I don't want to downplay that at all, but part of me just thinks Judas, as soon as he betrayed Jesus, he knew that it was wrong, and he felt so horrible about it. He couldn't even live with himself, so he killed himself. Like, he knew it was wrong. So he was in that process of, I know I did wrong, and that I can't bear the wrong that I just committed. And I just feel like we all, like, I know I have been guilty of this, like just looking so down on Judas Iscariot and being like, shame on you. Like, and for over 2,000 years, this man has had the one big mistake, and it was a huge mistake. I don't want to downplay that, but the one huge mistake he made, and that's all anyone focuses on, is, oh, Judas is so bad, Judas the betrayer. And I know it's even in the scriptures, okay? I know he's known as the betrayer. But I just feel like, well, why are we looking at the woman caught in adultery and having mercy on her, but we don't have that mercy in our heart for Judas Iscariot too? Judas knew he did wrong, just like that woman knew she did wrong. And sometimes my heart just cries for Judas, and I'm even kind of tearing up right now because I just feel like, haven't we all made a big mistake in our life? And then from that point on, people think of us as that one mistake we made, and they don't truly forgive us. They don't let that go like God does, and show mercy like, yeah, I'm a sinner too. Yeah, I've messed up, and I don't want people to just remember me from one big huge screw up, one big mistake. So for me, I feel like I want to show mercy to Judas, especially because I know Judas knew he did wrong, and he couldn't even bear to live with himself. And I hope that I can find mercy for people that hurt me, that betray me, because I know what it's like to be betrayed. And it's painful. But I also know what it's like to free myself of that by forgiving, and to also come back like Jesus taught us with the woman in adultery, to remember none of us are perfect, and that we can remember that so that we can show mercy to people who have made big mistakes, like the woman caught in adultery or Judas Iscariot. And so I just kind of wanted to share that. That's some feelings in my heart. And maybe some of you don't like it, maybe some do, but I just know in my heart, I would not want to be known for over 2,000 years for the one big huge mistake. And I'm pretty sure Judas Iscariot did a lot of good as well. I don't know, it doesn't say a whole lot, but I'm sure there was a lot of good that Judas did too. And to remember him only with the one huge mistake, I think is kind of tragic in some ways. I mean, we do need to learn to not betray people, so that's an example. But I feel like, can we let that go now? Are we able to let his one mistake go and remember that he did probably a lot more good than bad? So I just wanted to leave that with you. Just a thought, food for thought. I hope you guys are doing well, and we will catch you next time. Bye.